With so many new gunners out there buying ARs for home defense, today we're going to give you our list of top 5 accessories most needed for home defense. Welcome to Ghost Tactical. My name is Trey Miller, and today, like I said, we're going to go through our top picks for the most needed accessories to utilize your AR platform as a home defense weapon.
Number 5.
Coming in at number 5 on the list is a foregrip.
The reason why we believe that a foregrip is so important is it allows you to do so many different things, whether it's having a good grip on the gun or being more precise with your control and stability with the firearm. But before we start talking about the big reason why we went the foregrip on, let's talk about there's a couple different types of foregrips. You have first the angled foregrip, and as you can see here, this angled foregrip comes in here, your hand slides in, it's got a nice little stop right there, so you're able to control it pretty good. And then you also have the vertical foregrip or the broomstick. Either one of these foregrips are fine. The biggest thing you got to do is which one's more comfortable for you. Personally, I don't like the comfort of a vertical foregrip or a broomstick. For me, it just kind of gets in the way. I like to keep in tight here. So a vertical foregrip right here wouldn't be the most comfortable thing in the world for me. I choose to go with an angled foregrip, and it keeps me pretty compact, and I can clear a room. I can stay everything in here real nice and tight. But the main reason we wanted to talk about the foregrip and why it's important is because in a melee situation and you're clearing a home or self-defense or home defense, whatever it is, and you have to get close quarter combat with someone's rushing at you, and you may not have time to pull up and get that shot off. With this foregrip, now you have leverage to go ahead and get a nice jab with the muzzle of your weapon. You can use it as a melee weapon, and it's going to be very, very good to kind of keep people away from you, get distance. But the foregrip, whether it's angled or a broomstick, is going to give you nice stability and something to hold on to give you leverage for that jab.
Number 4.
Coming in at number 4 on our list is a sling. Now, the reason why a sling is so important in a home defense is you're going to have to be able to use your hands quite a bit, whether it's helping someone out, whether it's grabbing something, whatever it is, your hands are going to have to be free at some point during a home invasion or a self-defense situation. So the best thing we can do is have a sling attached to our rifle. Now, there are several different types of slings. You have a single point sling, you have a 2-point sling, and a 3-point sling. Now, I personally go with a 2-point sling. Whatever you choose is going to be up to you, but if you're just starting out with slings, I suggest you go with a 2-point sling. It's a lot easier to control, to get into, and not have to worry about adjusting, and if it gets too tight or too loose, it's very, very easy to adjust. Now, let's go over some of the reasons why we believe that a sling is so important when it comes down to home defense. The most important reason, like I said earlier, is you're going to have to be able to use your hands. Whether or not you're having to grab someone or pick up a child or help someone get to safety or whatever the reason, your hands are going to be very, very, very important to have. If you're not going to use a handgun and you're going to use an AR platform, then make sure you get a sling, because at this point, I can have it here. It's in my operating area. It's still easily accessible anytime I want, but right now my hands are free. I can move about and have no problem whatsoever. If you're having to run and all that with a 2-point sling, it's very simple. You can even come out here, tighten it up, and now you're good to go to where you even have it on your back and you have all this to carry a child or whatever. You've got all the room in the world. If you need to get back in, it's real simple. You're back here and you're back in the fight.
Number 3.
Coming in at number 3 on our list is a rail-mounted optic. Now, the reason why optics are so important is especially in low light. If you have an intruder in your house at night, it's going to be dark and you want to keep it dark. That gives you a tactical advantage. You know your house layout better than anybody else. So when you start turning lights on, everyone can see the same amount. But if you have the lights off, you know where the furniture is. You can get around your house easier than the intruder can and the threat can. So you want to keep the lights off. Unfortunately, at that point, you're probably going to need some sort of an optic to make sure that you're going to be aiming properly. Now, there are different types of optics, but for the scenario of a home defense gun, I would go with either a red dot or a reflex. Now, a lot of people are going to sit there and yell at me, yes, I know that red dots are reflex sights, but what I'm going to talk about is something like I have on right here. This is an open view reflex sight. Okay, now a red dot is going to be just fine. I go with an open view reflex sight, but either one are going to be great. Reason why is I would choose those two is they're going to have long battery lives, and they're going to have an LED illuminated reticle to where it's going to be nice and bright, or as bright as you want to get it, and it's going to be right there anytime, and the battery's going to last a long time. So let's kind of look at some of the differences in the reticles. So the first optic we're going to talk about is a tube red dot. When you hear the term red dot, this is typically what people are talking about. It's very, very simple, pretty cheap. You can get them for as low as like $50. Now, yes, you can spend $1,000 on them, but you can get them as low for entry level as $50 red dot. So as you can see with this dot right here, it's pretty simple. You're going to zero this in, but you're basically literally getting a red dot. Now, it also comes in green, so you can utilize that, but a red dot is typically just literally a red dot that you focus on the middle of your target. Once you have it zeroed in, you point and you shoot. And when we're talking about an open view reflex sight, this one's a sight mark. This one right here retails for like about 80 bucks and maybe up to $100 with shipping or tax or whatever. And it's a really, really, really sturdy, good entry level reflex sight. So at this point, you can see it's a big window. You're going to be able to utilize this with eyes open, both eyes open. So you're going to be able to see a lot more around the optic and around the reticle. But at this point, the reticle is going to be a little bit bigger than a red dot. Obviously, this is a dot and circle reticle. So it's got the red dot in the middle with a circle around it. I like this. This is my favorite reticle out there. This is the one that I use on basically everything, whether it's a holographic or a reflex sight. This is the reticle that I like the most.
Number 2.
Coming in at number 2 on our list are iron sights. Now for me, iron sights are very, very important. I think that everyone should learn how to shoot on iron sights. If you want to learn on an optic, fine. But what if your optic goes down and you're in a home defense situation, your optic runs out of battery, it gets broken, whatever happens, how are you going to make sure that when you engage that you're on target and all that? Well, you're going to use iron sights. Now there's a couple different ways you can do this, especially the front sight. Right here on mine, I have what they call an A2 front sight. And this is permanently there. It's not going anywhere. I can run my optic with a lower third co-witness, not a problem. But if something happens with this reflex sight that we just talked about, battery dies, it gets broken, it comes off, whatever it is, at that point now I have backup sights in the rear that all I got to do is push that. And now I have iron sights to where you're going to sit there and just aim it like you normally would with iron sights. So having iron sights are wonderful because you just never know what you're going to have to do. You're never going to know when the optic's going to fail, whether it's broken, batteries, whatever it is. Always have iron sights, because the last thing you want to do is have an optic only. Optic goes out or fails or breaks or whatever, and now you really don't have any way to make sure that you're aiming properly. The reason why that's important, you're in a home defense or a self-defense shoot and you're not able to get on your target well, you might shoot someone that you're not supposed to be shooting, and that can turn into a really bad, hairy situation. So iron sights, they have, like I said, this is a fixed A2 sight that's just going to be on there at all times. They have flip up front sights, flip up rear sights, whatever you want to do. Make sure you have iron sights, guys.
Before we unveil our number 1 choice, we invite you to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and click that notification bell. That way you'll get notified every time we have a new video come out. Now, back to the countdown.
Number 1.
And our number 1 accessory that we believe is a must-have for your AR platform for home defense is a light. I think it's pretty obvious as to why the light is probably the most important thing to have on your rifle. Now, hopefully you have one, and hopefully that you're going to have it with you, a handheld light. But a handheld light in the situation when you're using an AR or a rifle as a home defense weapon, it really doesn't work out too well, because you're going to need both of your hands probably to operate the weapon system. So if you've got a hand and you've got to have to make it all weird and all that, it's not going to work out. What we go with is a mounted light like so. There are so many different sizes, there are so many different models, all the way from $50 to $1,200. Okay, lights are a big part of the AR game as far as accessories go. Now what I have is a laser light combo, just in case I ever have to use a laser, I can. But I don't have it set on laser. I have it set on light only. And the reason why you want to have a light is if you engage with the target, you want to make sure that you can identify that target is a threat before you pull that trigger. We never want to shoot anyone that we don't want to shoot, so make sure that we have a light. So even when it's dark, right before you shoot, it's real simple. Go ahead and engage that light. Make sure that who you are aiming at is the threat. So let's demonstrate right now. It's in a dark room. Obviously, we're getting ready to engage. We found an outline of someone. We want to make sure, holy cow, that thing is going to be bright. Now, you obviously saw how bright that light was in a dark situation. It lights up that whole room, and that's great. One thing you can also use a light for, if not just to identify threats, is you can actually use it as a weapon in itself. If you run out of ammo or whatever, you get too close, something has gone wrong to where you can't get that trigger pull, or you don't feel safe pulling that trigger, sometimes the best thing to use is that light. So if you come in and you shine that light right in someone's eyes, I promise you, with a light that you're going to be able to get, whether it's 800 to whatever 1,000 lumens or whatever they are, they're going to be very, very bright. And that get there into someone's eyes, they're going to do that. At that point, you can get rid of them or you can get away. But sometimes that light just in itself can be a weapon. So guys, I hope this has helped. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, maybe give us a thumbs up and all that jazz, and let us know what you think. Let us know in the comment section below also if I missed something, or what you think the best option for the 5 accessories, or any accessory for an AR platform rifle for home defense. And if you really want to help support the channel, go ahead and use the links down below in the description. We'll have links to a lot of different items that you can use that we've talked about, whether it's slings or foregrips or optics or, you know, front sights, iron sights, we're talking lights, whatever. Use the link below. It's our Amazon influencer shop, and if you want to use it, that's going to help the channel in any purchase that you make, whether it's gun related or not. You use that link, go shopping on Amazon. Anything that you buy, it's going to help us out. We're going to get a little kickback from Amazon to help the channel out. So if you're interested in that and you want to support us, please use the link down below.
Well, now that we know that you've subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell, what we're asking you to do now is to hit that thumbs up button or the thumbs down button. But you know what? We honestly prefer the thumbs up button. After that, come down below here and make sure you leave us a comment. We love hearing your feedback, and we love to hear what you think about the video. Are you in the mood for some more awesome 2A content? Then make sure you check out our website, ghosttacticalproductions.com, and check us out on all of our social media platforms. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell to be notified about our latest videos. Till next time, Semper Fi.